Today we're going to do the second row of your little book. We are going to still find the equation of a line given a point and a slope or given 2 points. So if you're looking at the second row, we're going to be looking at using y equals mx plus b to figure out how to find the equation of a line if we're given the point and the slope. So let's do the following. Let's do the first one. For the first example, it says, what's the equation of a line with a slope of -2 and if one goes through point 4, -3? Well, our final answer should look like this. It should look like y equals and some kind of mx plus b. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out what the slope is. We're going to figure out what the y-intercept is. We don't have to do much figuring out for the slope because you're telling us it's got a slope of -2. So before I do any math, I know that the part of the answer is y equals -2x part. Now we're going to find the slope, or the intercept, or the b. And here's how you do that. You're going to recopy your equation, y equals mx plus b. And remember, we can't solve an equation if it has more than one letter in it. And this has all kinds of letters in it. We're looking for the b, so we're going to take everything out and we're going to solve for b. So let's do that. Let's take all the letters out. Well, we're going to take the y out. So what should we put in for the y? We're going to put in the y coordinate for the point you gave us. For the slope, we're going to put in the -2 for the slope that was given to us. What are we going to put in for x? We're going to put in the x coordinate that was given to us. And the b, that's what we're trying to find. We're going to fill him into the blank. Okay, so let's solve this for b. The first thing you would do would be to multiply these two numbers. -2 times 4 is -8. And just recopy everything else. Recopy your plus b, recopy your equals, recopy your -3. The next step in solving for b would be you're going to add 8 to both sides. And when you add 8 to both sides, you get 5 is equal to b. That's what's going to go in your second blank. That is the y-intercept, plus 5. So now we solved it. And our final answer is just this right here that we have. Our final answer, maybe, is going to be, oops. Final answer is going to be this right here. Y equals -2x plus 5. And then we're done. Let's go to the next problem. This example 2 says, what's the equation of a line with slope of -3/4 and goes through point -8, 2? We're going to start the same thing. We're going to start it with our little skeleton formula for our answer. We need to find an m and a b. And again, you told us what the m was. You told us the slope. You said the slope is -3/4. So we're going to fill that in. The slope is -3/4. So again, without doing any math, we know part of the answer. We know the part that is y is equal to -3/4 x. To figure out the b, here's how you figure the b out. We're going to go back to our y equals mx plus b. And we're going to take out all our letters except the b. So again, we're going to take out the y and put in the y coordinate. We're going to take out the m and put in the slope that was given to us. We're going to take out the x and put in the x coordinate from the point that was given to us. We don't know what the b is. We're going to find it. So we're going to put plus b. So again, we're going to solve this for b and fill in the second blank to get our final answer. Might be a little tricky because we have a fraction, but it's okay. We're going to do -3/4 times -8. First thing is I see that these things right here, this is -8 divided by 4. -8 divided by 4 is negative 2. So all that turns into is negative 2. And we have negative 3 times negative 2. And when we multiply a negative 3 and a negative 2, we'll get positive 6. We don't have to write plus in there. Let me erase that. Now we're going to solve it for b. So we would subtract 6 from both sides. And when we get 2 minus 6, that's negative 4. And negative 4 is equal to b. So that is our, oops, that's our y-intercept, negative 4. So again, that's our final answer. Our final answer for the equation of that line is y equals negative 3/4 x minus 4. Now for 3 and 4, these are those easy answers again. Remember, if we have something that's got a slope of 0, and you tell me he goes through this point, negative 8, 6, those are ones we don't have to do any work for. They're horizontal and vertical lines. Remember this. Anything that has going uphill is a positive slope. Anything that's going downhill is a negative slope. Horizontal lines have slope that is 0. Their equations look like y equals some number. And anything that is a vertical line has an undefined slope. And his equation looks like x equals some number. We're going to use those to do these two equations, these two examples, 3 and 4. So as soon as you say he's got a slope of 0, we know this. Anything with a slope of 0 looks like y equals some number. Well, how do I know what the number looks like? You look at the y coordinates. Since he says y equals, he's y equals 6. On number 4, we're going to use the same thing. As soon as you tell us this has a slope that's undefined, and he goes through point negative 9, negative 3. Well, if you say he has a slope that's undefined, we know this. And what is that number? Well, since he's an x equal, we look to the x coordinate. And he's x equals negative 9. And we're done. Let's go on to examples 5 and 6. They're going to have 2 points. We're going to start them the same way with our little sketchy final answer where we fill in the blanks. And last time they told us, in examples 1 and 2, they told us what the slopes were. We just filled in the blanks. Well, this time we have to work for the slopes. They give us 2 points, so we're going to use the slope formula to figure out what the slope is. Remember how we do that? We take the y's and we drop them into the top. And we take the x's and we drop them into the bottom. Then we just do the math. Well, a minus is a plus, so on the top we have 2 plus 5, which is 7. And on the bottom we have 4 minus 8. Remember, when little number comes first, its subtraction is a negative. So we found our slope is negative 7/4. Next step, we have to find a point. Well, it give us 2. So let's pick a point. You can pick whichever point you want to. I'm going to pick 8, negative 5. And I'm going to put those points and my slope I found into my y equals mx plus b. So let's do that. Y equals mx plus b. We're going to take all the letters out except for the b, and we're going to replace them and solve. So remember, y coordinate goes in for y. The slope that we found, and that was the negative 7/4, he goes in for the m. The x coordinate of the point we picked, we'll go in for the x, and we'll try to solve for the b. It would have just worked fine had you picked the other point, 4, 2. It doesn't matter which point you pick. So let's solve this for b. Remember, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply these two things together. And you might be afraid because of the fraction, but remember, this right here means divided by 4. So we're just going to combine 8 divided by 4. That whole thing turns into 2. So this negative 7 times 4 times 2 is negative 14. That whole thing is just negative 14. That brings bring everything else down. And then you just solve for b. I would add 14 to both sides. That will give you 19 equals b. And that's my y-intercept, plus 19. Final example 6, final one like this. What's the equation of a line that goes through points 9, 5 and 6, 1? We'll start our problem with our little sketchy final answer. And we have to fill in the slope because we don't know what it is. We have to work for a slope. So we started with fraction bar and minus, minus, minus on top and bottom. And then we're going to drop our y's into the top. And drop our x's into the bottom. And just do the math. You have 5 minus 1 on top, which is 4. You have 9 minus 3, or 9 minus 6 on bottom, which is 3. So we just figured out that our slope is 4/3. Next, again, we got to do our y equals mx plus b. We have to find our slope intercept. So we're going to copy y equals mx plus b. We have to figure out a point. So again, it doesn't matter which one you pick. I think I'm going to pick 9 and 5 this time. Again, it doesn't matter. You can just as easily pick the 6, 1. And let's put everything in there. My y coordinate of 5 goes in for my y. My slope that we figured out, that's 4/3, goes in for the m. The x coordinate of 9 goes in for the x. And b is what we're looking for, so we leave the letter b. Again, when you solve for b, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to multiply the 4/3 and the 9. And again, don't let the fraction fool you. This is just 9 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 turns into 3. So this whole thing right here is 4 times 3, which is 12. Just going to bring everything else down. Next step, solve for b. So subtract 12 from both sides. And 5 minus 12 is -7. That's what we found for b. So that's what goes in the blank. And remember, y equals 4/3 x minus 7 is our final answer. The last two in this row. Again, they're the easy ones. You say, what's the equation of a line that goes through points 1, -4 and -3, -4? Notice that your y coordinates are equal. They're both equal to -4. Again, this is one of those easy problems. If the y coordinates are both equal to -4, it's a horizontal line, and the equation is y equals -4, because both y coordinates are equal to -4. On the last example on this row, what's the equation of a line that goes through points 6, 0 and 6, 5? And again, if you see a pattern, both those x coordinates are equal to 6. If you tell me those x coordinates are equal to 6, the equation of that line is x is equal to 6. And we're done. See how easy?